Can you say Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have finally marked their divorce from ECOWAS? Will these countries continue to fight this bloc with all they have got? Well, it seems so. In a recent turn of events, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have decided to introduce new biometric passports as part of their withdrawal from the West African bloc in favor of a new Sahel alliance. Will this be the final blow to ECOWAS? We are going to find out, but before we do so, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel so you get updates on all that is happening in Burkina Faso and Africa as a whole. When the military leaders of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger unveiled their new Confederation treaty in July, the common theme in their statements was greater integration between their countries. All states that have slowly but surely been drifting away from traditional regional and Western allies. This greater integration is definitely working because these countries continue to work hand in glove. Bear in mind that this decision to introduce new biometric passports is coming few days after Burkina Faso's Ibrahim traore unveiled a new generation biometric passport that no longer carried the logo of the Economic Community of West African States. And few days later, Mali and Niger have adopted it. The three junta-led Sahel neighbors jointly announced in January they would leave the 15-member Economic Community of West African States, which has sought to persuade them to reconsider their decision. However, this recent blow proves that all that the bloc has been doing has been falling on deaf ears. The new passport's electronic chip enables more sophisticated data collecting and storage, along with improved security measures. Security Minister Mohamed Ousana said, "This new document enables online pre-registration, flexible registration whether online or offline, and instant data transmission to embassies." In a speech on Sunday, Malian military leader Assimi Goita said, "In the coming days, a new biometric passport of the Alliance of Sahel states will be put into circulation with the aim of harmonizing travel documents in our common area and facilitating the mobility of our citizens throughout the world." Goita spoke ahead of a meeting between the three countries' foreign ministers on the anniversary of the decision to form their own alliance. In addition, Goita announced that they intended to open a common information channel to foster a peaceful exchange of information among their three states. As these countries continue to strengthen their ties, ECOWAS has warned that their withdrawal would undermine the freedom of movement and common market of the 400 million people living in the 49-year-old bloc. This might be true, but these military leaders are looking beyond this and doing what they think is better for their citizens. It should be noted that the Economic Community of West African States, a regional bloc consisting of 15 countries, was founded in 1975 with the express purpose of advancing economic stability, enhancing living standards for its citizens, and fostering cooperation and integration. Since then, it has emerged as the region's preeminent political authority, regularly collaborating with states to tackle internal problems pertaining to politics, economics, and security. Have they, however, been improving the living standards of these people? It is evident that this is untrue. These nations wouldn't have been looking for methods to leave them if they were actually doing so. The passports would have continued to bear their logo as well. ECOWAS has lost the respect and allegiance of many West Africans. It does not adequately represent the people's interests in a region where people have long complained that their country's abundant natural resources do not help them. The political climate in West Africa is already unstable, and this recent action will only make matters worse by giving radical organizations more confidence and escalating worries about regional security. You want to be aware of the approximately 300 people who lost their lives as a result of the terminations that radical organizations connected to Al-Qaeda carried out in Burkina Faso. This recent strike on ECOWAS might reduce the region's market, thereby affecting trade flows, investment prospects, and economic growth across the bloc. This decision to issue new passports indicates a distinct and significant move away from regional collaboration and integration. This action signals a more significant break from ECOWAS's influence and demonstrates the administration's intention to reclaim national sovereignty and possibly reorient foreign policy objectives. This decision will definitely have consequences that go beyond diplomatic ties and impact regional political and economic connections. As these military leaders navigate this new path, the response from ECOWAS and the international community will be crucial in shaping future relations and stability in the region. How do you think the bloc will react to this? Let us know what you think in the comments. The top diplomats of the West African states of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso met on September 16 to identify actions and measures for coordination of diplomacy among the member nations of the Alliance of Sahel states. In Bamako, Abdoulaye Diop of Mali, Jazang Marie Karamoko Traore of Burkina Faso, and Bakary Yeu Sangaré of Niger met after senior alliance officials held preparatory discussions since Friday the 13th. The main agenda of their meeting was to develop, consolidate, improve, finalize, and submit for validation by foreign ministers the documents relating to the operationalization of the AES Confederation. Bear in mind that all this is coming after the military leaders of these three countries signed a Treaty of Confederation in July, bringing together 72 million people into the Alliance of Sahel states. They claim that by making this choice, the three countries would be able to eradicate the harmful jihadist violence from their territories and form a new economic partnership that will completely transform West Africa. Are you not waiting for the day these terminations would end in Africa? According to President Colonel Assimi Goita, the confederation they were establishing would eventually become a full-fledged federation, bringing 72 million people together into a single community by permitting the free circulation of people and goods within the three-country bloc. This might be another reason why these three countries are introducing the biometric passports. Goita has made it clear that in some years to come, he will not want people to refer to them as citizens of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, but as the people of the AES. This should tell you the vision these leaders have for their respective countries. The road leading to this federation has been a ragged one. The three countries have been drawing carefully closer to one another since 2020 following a series of coups that brought military governments to power in Mali, Burkina Faso, and finally Niger in July last year. The three leaders who emerged, Mali's Goita, Burkina Faso's Traore, and Niger's Abdourahmane Tiani, said they had been driven to act by the abject failure of corrupt and compromised civilian governments to protect their citizens from jihadist violence. ECOWAS, which is presently led by Nigeria, a major player in the area, reacted angrily to the coups, enacting harsh trade penalties and even threatening to use military force against Niger. Former colonial power France quickly backed this notion. You know how these countries would normally react when France is involved. The threat was met with outrage by the coup leaders, with Bamako and Ouagadougou pledging to come to Niger's aid if it was set upon by the other West African nations. Since then, all attempts at reconciliation between the three member states and the bloc have failed miserably. Even after ECOWAS decided to remove its border controls and sanctions against Niger, the three strong leaders declared in January that they were leaving the organization. Niger's powerful man Tiani declared that the alliance had irrevocably broken with ECOWAS in a statement that accompanied the signing of the Treaty of Confederation between the three states. The three states are already strengthening their collaboration. In April of this year, Niger consented to sell Mali 150 million liters of diesel at a price nearly half that of the market, providing much-needed assistance to a country suffering from chronic energy shortages. It is no news that these countries have been working together and will continue to do so. However, the insecurity in these countries has been driving these leaders crazy. The three nations' struggle against armed insurgents has no single cause and no simple answer. A number of brutal jihadist movements have become entrenched throughout the Sahel due to a number of factors, including an armed campaign to establish a Tuareg nation in northern Mali, chaos caused by the overthrow of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi's regime across the Sahara, and the pressing urgency that the worsening climate crisis has given to land conflicts between sedentary farmers and nomadic pastorals. For years, the fight against these movements has taken place alongside French and U.S. troops, as well as a United Nations peacekeeping force. Those days are over. All three nations have cut off their military agreements with Western powers. This bold step is appreciated by many, though the French are spreading lies to make people believe the transition of these military leaders is a bad move. Despite efforts by ECOWAS to mend the breach, including the appointment of newly elected Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye as a mediator with the departed states, Traore has continued to describe ECOWAS's leaders as house slaves, more concerned with serving Western economic interests than their citizens. In the nearly 50 years that the bloc has existed, this is the first time that its members are standing against it in this way. This represents a further danger to the stability of the region and an extraordinary blow to the group. With the introduction of these passports, these countries are proving that they will continue fighting against the bloc. Do you think ECOWAS will respond to this blow? If so, what do you think will be their response? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.